All of us have cell phones, but do we realize how dangerous they can be and what they can potentially lead to? Cell devices do come in handy. But not in the hands of a driver at the same time. The information I'm sharing with you comes from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the National Safety Council. In my presentation, I'm going to share with you reckless driving, poor decision making, and life consequences that come from these deadly devices. First, let's look at how they drive recklessly. People driving and talking on cell phones have three major hazards. First, a visual hazard. The visual hazard consists of when you're looking for your cell phone in your purse, pocket, or anywhere in your car. This comes from when your eyes are not on the road and you're not totally focused. This can be when you're looking up a number, dialing a number, or receiving a number. Physical is when you're not holding both hands on the wheel and you only have one and one hand on your phone. Cognitive. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration believes that people get wrapped up in conversation and it ruins their cognitive ability. People are actually more distracted talking on their cell phones than what they are talking to someone else in the car. Now that we realize how reckless people can be, let's look at the poor decisions. Drivers who multitask when driving make poor decisions. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 800 people were polled, and they said 43% have accelerated when using a mobile device, 23% tailgated, 18% had cut someone off, 10% had run a red light, and 6% were so reckless they almost ran off the road. A credible source, the National Safety Council, states that studies show that driving while talking on a cell phone is extremely dangerous and puts drivers at 4 times greater risk of an accident. Drinking and driving is also dangerous and against the law. When our friends have been drinking, we take the keys away. It's time to take the cell phones away. Among the National Safety Council member businesses, they responded to a survey. 45% of them have prohibited on-road driving. 85% of that 45% had said there was no difference in production. Since you've learned what the statistics are, let's find out other statistics that were surveyed in our class. Many studies like these are very helpful and show people and understand the importance of what they do behind the wheel. In our class, 60% of us said that they use cell phones most of the time driving. However, 90% believe it was a bad idea to drive and talk at the same time. 70% believe it's a distraction. 20% think it's dangerous, and 10% think that a person should be able to do both. All of us had encountered another driver using a cell phone, and all agree that they make poor decisions, drive reckless, and can cause major life-threatening consequences. But the question is, why do we still intend to do this? Former victim Rebecca Cunningham believes she is still lucky to be alive. She pulled her phone out of her purse to text a friend, and the next thing she remembers is being in contact with a light pole. This happened in Philadelphia. Today you've learned about how cell phones affect many of our lives. Also, I'm sure you've seen on the news in New Jersey, cell phones have been banned. In Pennsylvania, it's beginning, because Philadelphia has banned them in the city. Eventually, it's going to take over the whole state and even the nation. Rebecca Cunningham has been urging council to approve the bill that applies to drivers, skateboarders, bicyclists, and rollerbladers. All of us in the room should be extremely grateful for not having such a traumatic incident like the first picture we've shown. But if you think it can't happen to you, you better think again, because you never know what your future holds, and you should remember that you can be the one to control this. Thank you.